right. Well, here we are. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Great that you joined and that you decided to be here in this daily miracle lesson class. We're looking here at the key lessons of A Course in Miracles, and it's great. So if you do the lessons on a daily basis, well, this is one lesson you had a moment ago, and there's no love but God's is the lesson for today. Incredible lesson. Like all of them, isn't it pretty amazing to have so many lessons, like every day a new lesson that is so profound that you probably don't hear everything at once. If you would, you only had to do one lesson. If you hear one lesson in its totality, you're finished with the book, really. But now we come together to stand still here with one of the lessons, and there's no love but God's. We're going to see what that brings us, and so to prepare for this class, or to become still in yourself so that you're able to hear and to listen. We always find a way to do that, by becoming quiet, by relaxing, by focusing on breathing for a moment. So that's what we can do now too. So focus on your breath and sigh a couple of times. Close your eyes if necessary. It's like, okay, I'm say dislodging myself from the world that I see. For a moment it is all meaningless to me. I don't have to do anything with it. I'm letting it be. I'm not focusing on it and not paying attention to what is occurring in my surroundings. I'm just, I try to become completely present here, in this moment, not thinking about the future or the past, just right here. Not thinking about relationships, not thinking about world concerns, world problems, or your problems. None of that. So we stay right here in this moment where we in fact become aware of our joint purpose, and that is waking up from this from the dream of limitation and say separation and death. Separation, the idea that it's possible to be separate from God. So none of that is possible, of course, because, hey, God is your creator. And that is not really as you see yourself now, maybe, but it is the reality of who you are. So with all these things that we go through, we see, and you see this in the first lessons too, you see that what you perceive is not a fact. It's not a fact. It's not a law, but it's a reflection. It's a mirror of what you are thinking, and that is so liberating. If you actually hear what that says, it's very liberating. So it's not determining anything for you. What you see does not determine anything for you. So it brings it back to yourself. Like, okay, yes, it starts here. What I think, what I have in mind, I see that reflected. If I change my mind, this will look differently. And in fact, we start to use that actively in terms of giving up any kind of idea that we hold about how it should look or what you want from it. So leaving that all behind and letting that go offers you an open mind. And that's basically a miracle mind. And that is exactly what we train ourselves in the Course in Miracles. We train ourselves to open our minds for miracles, right? For something to happen that is not of our own making. But it can be like a shift into invisibility. It can be a shift in time and space. Suddenly, you discover you're out of time. Suddenly you enter into timelessness, where everything has totally different laws than the ones you are used to in this world that you think, that you see. So and then we have to look at, today we're going to look at a very specific part, and that is love, the love part in this in this awakening. So what is love? What is that? What does that mean? What is that supposed to mean? So we might take a look at the clarification of terms and see if there's love in the clarification of terms. Like that's the fourth part of the book, of the Urtext book. But first I will read something from the first chapters of the first paragraphs of lesson, what was the number? 127. There is no love but God's. So let's start with that. There's no love but God's. Perhaps you think, it's on page 348 of the Urtext book, and in the blue book, I don't know the numbers, but it's lesson 127. There's no love but God's. Perhaps you think that different kinds of love are possible. Perhaps you think there's a kind of love for this, a kind of love for that, a way of loving one, another way of loving still another. So you recognize that, right? You're not, probably not loving everyone in the same way. So you have specific special love, and you have regular love, you have neighbor love, and you have stranger love, and who knows what kind of varieties you have. So this is what we're talking about. Perhaps you think that there are different kinds of love, but love is one. It has no separate parts and no degrees. There's not special love. There's not more love for this one, more love for that one. That would not be love. So it doesn't differentiate. It has no separate parts and no degrees, no kinds, no levels, no divergences and no distinctions. Oh yeah, distinctions. Like, no, I don't really love that one. I don't really love this. I don't really love that. No, this is not love at all, altogether. It has nothing to do with love that you are talking about. Love never alters with a person or a circumstance. It is the heart of God and also of His Son. So love is one. Love is one. So that's good to keep in mind. Love is one. It has no separate parts, no degrees, nothing like that. It is like itself, unchanged throughout. It never alters with a person or circumstance. It is the heart of God and also of His Son. It's the heart of you too, the heart of God's Son. So this is already like a huge message, because, well, look at how your relationships are. Look at the ones that you don't love anymore, or the ones that seem to not love you anymore, or the ones that you started to even more than not loving. So this is like, you probably have some people popping up in your mind right now when you think about this. So this is good to realize. In this lesson we're actually looking at that. Like, wow, we have made so many distinctions. Like, I love that one, I don't love that one. I love this one so very much, and I love you not so much, and all of that. So it seems that it's a variable. Like, it can change any time. So that's what you see with the, say, earthly relationships. It shifts, it comes and goes, it shifts, and it doesn't seem to have any stability. It doesn't seem to have any constancy. So is that love then? Are we talking about love in that sense? No, actually that is not love. Because love will not change. It is one, and it doesn't make any distinctions. So that's a bit of a different thing altogether. And it is not up to you to decide what love is or is not. So coming into your say presence, coming into your Christ mind, coming into your wholeness, you discover that you are what love is. And if you have any other idea about yourself, you see that that has nothing to do with love. And that's why we say, like, well, give up your ideas, give up your thoughts, let them go. Because, hey, what do they serve? They don't serve you at all. So, and this is at the end of your ideas, when you become completely, in fact, vulnerable, or completely open, if you want, then love is inevitable. Like, when you come to the point that there's nothing to lose for you anymore, or nothing to gain in that sense, you actually become really open to express the love that you are. So this is so different, this is so different than how you think about this as a human being. But great to read about this. So you can say, like, there's no other love but the love of God. That's the constant, say, inspiration that you are as an extension of God. If you allow yourself to be that extension and not getting in the way. See, and then I will bring this in right away too. So it's like obstacles to love don't really exist only in your dream about yourself. So in our awakening process, this is exactly the part that we allow to be undone by really looking at what we're doing and how we are thinking. That's why this comes up. But what I try to say is this, actually. It is like, what I try to say is this. It's like the part of you that is love, like that is what you are, that is the totality of you. All the other things that you think are in the way is not you. So that's exactly what you, starting to discover. Like, this love part of you is actually always available. You cannot get rid of it. It is what you are. It is, you can deny it, you can try to hide it, you can do whatever you want with it, but actually it's continuously present with you. And deep inside yourself, you know that that is true. So all the things that you do to obscure this, or to try not to express this, or to work against it, or to, you name it, whatever you do for it, not to see that yourself, is just a delusion, is just a self-delusion. So you're the only one, say, experiencing the effects of that. Because in this whole experience of yourself as the love of God, as an extension of the love of God, there is no such thing as pain and sickness and separation and conflict and all this changing stuff, so to speak. So that's really good to remember. And this is where we meditate for too. It's like all these things are actually helpful to discover. When I meditate, I become so quiet. It feels so good. I actually feel completely myself. And I become so loving. And then I think I have to step back into the world defending myself. It's like, well, that is not necessary. That's not what love is. You don't have to defend yourself when you get back into the world, so to speak. Because otherwise you let the world tell you what you are. And you don't need that. So in your meditation, in your practicing, in doing these exercises that are in the book, you actually, practice this of, yes, I am the love. I am as God created me. Yeah, love created me like itself. There's no love but God's. And there's no love but God's Son. So this is what you are, and this is what you take with you. All right, so we're going to read some more from the lesson and see what we come up with. So this is the second part of the second paragraph. To believe these things of love is not to understand it. If it could make such distinctions, it would have to judge between the righteous and the sinner. and perceive the Son of God in separate parts. Love cannot judge. As it is one itself, it looks on all as one. Its meaning lies in oneness, and it must elude the mind that thinks of it as partial or in part. There is no love but God's, and all of His love is His. There is no principle which rules where love is not. Love is a law without an opposite. Its wholeness is the power holding everything as one, the link between the Father and the Son, which holds them both forever as the same. So love cannot judge. So this is a difficult exercise, in fact. This is a difficult exercise for a human mind. If you believe your perception, then you already have a problem, because literally your perception is what judgment is. You see what you want to see, and you prove yourself right. So unless you you allow yourself to change your mind. So love cannot judge. So when you see something that doesn't seem to be right, what do? You're not going to attack it. You're not going to do the things that you normally do as a human being. No, you stop. You stop right there and go back to yourself. It's like, okay, so did God change His mind about me? Suddenly is love changeable? Can love change? Can love judge? No, it cannot. So I'm going to go inside, like I'm literally connecting with myself for a moment to recover, to remember that there is no opposite to the love of God. And that is the exercise, in fact. That is what we do in this course. Because continuously there's the temptation to believe what you see and say to use it to prove you're right. And you can do that. You're free to do that. Nobody's stopping you to do that. But it's not telling you anything about yourself. So your right is not going to be your happiness. No, your right is going to be your separation, your hell. And you don't see that right away, but it will be shown to you literally because you literally ask for it. So now here in our love affair, in our not changing love affair of continuous love, where the purpose is oneness, all inclusive, no distinctions, no judgment, none of that. You see, we enter into a whole different realm, and you're either in that realm or you're not in that realm. And when you're not in that realm, you're actually are in a cloud of fear, of denial, of separation, of irritation. So when you allow that to change, to come back to yourself, the skies open up, so to speak. Like suddenly there's the relaxation of, I don't really care anymore if I'm right or wrong. I don't even want to have anything to do with that. I'm gonna put down my arms. And I'm going to relax into, the possibility of letting myself be shown what it means, what oneness means, what love is. See, and it is not attacking, it's not reacting. It is not reacting to prove itself right, or it is not doing anything except presence, being right here, right now, just standing right in that, in your light, and receiving that and extending that, just because it's your nature, just because that is the only truth about you and about everyone else. Well, what do you think the effect of that is? So this is so lovely. Like it's an amazing lesson that we do today. Oh yeah, so this is on the 5th paragraph. No laws the world obeys can help you grasp love's meaning. Well, this is not so difficult to see. It's like well, the laws of the world never felt very loving, did they? It's like everyone has experiences with the not loving part of this world, of the laws of this world, of the laws of relationships and the laws of love, between quotes. Like, you all have experiences with that is not what love is. It temporarily looked like it, or it was very tempting to believe it was so, but actually no, it changed. It was not what it appeared to be. See, and everyone has experiences like that. So it's good to read this here, right? No laws the world obeys can help you grasp love's meaning. What the world believes was made to hide love's meaning and to keep it dark and secret. There's not one principle in the world upholds but violates truth of what love is and what you are as well. Seek not within the world to find yourself. Love is not found in darkness and in death. Yet it is perfectly apparent to the eyes that see and ears that hear its voice. See, you can already feel that. Like, you feel when you do this lesson that you sink down into a relaxation. Like, oh, how lovely that is to come to that place where I'm actually aware of what love is, that I actually can feel what love is. And you know it so well because it's yours. You know it so well. And now it's like, so what is going to tempt you to get you out of this space in which you experience that? Like, what is going to tempt you to get out of that? And why? There's basically no reason for it anymore. So in that sense, you see, with doing the course and doing the lessons, you see that more and more time is opening up for yourself to practice and to stay in this quiet zone inside yourself where you actually start to feel relaxed and loving, and you connect with the frequency of love. And more time is, it's like friendly asked of you. You don't have to do it. You can always do it later or repeat it once more. You can always, pick it up again. Like this. You can always do that. But at the same time, it is, what is going to take you out of this? Why not practice this well? Why not taking time in the morning to just relax and do this first before you do anything else? Or when you go to bed, just before you go to sleep. Why don't you just do this for a moment and deeply connect with the love that you are? So still and so quiet and so true. So that's the invitation continuously. And I love this, the way that it is presented, and also the way that it is growing while doing these exercises. Really beautiful. Okay, so here we go to paragraph 6 and say the last sentence is this. If you achieve the faintest glimmering of what love means today, you have advanced in distance without measure and in time beyond the count of years to your release. If you achieve the faintest advance towards its established goal, if you achieve the faintest glimmering of what love means today, I was just mixing the sentences. If you achieve the faintest glimmering of what love means today, you have advanced in distance without measure and in time beyond the count of years to your release. So that is what we're talking about. So that's the benefit for you. Let us together then be glad to give some time to God today and understand there's no better use for time than this. For 50 minutes twice today, escape from every law in which you now believe. Open your mind and rest. The world which seems to hold you prisoner can be escaped by anyone who does not hold it dear. Withdraw all value you have placed upon its meager offerings and senseless gifts, and let the gift of God replace them all. So that's so great. So it continues here in 9, and paragraph 9. Today the legion of the future years of waiting for salvation disappears before the timelessness of what you learn. Let us give thanks today that we are spared the future like the past. Today we leave the past behind us, never more to be remembered, and we raise our eyes upon the different present, where a future shines unlike the past in every attribute. Yeah, that's the last paragraph I want to read. So today the legion of the future years of waiting for salvation disappears before the timelessness of what you learn. Let us give thanks today that we are spared a future like the past. Today we leave the past behind us, never more to be remembered, and we raise our eyes upon a different present, where a future shines unlike the past in every attribute. This is so great. So I remember talking about a memory in the past. I remember the situation in which I experienced this for the first time. I was surrounded by apparently, say, light brothers that were practicing this very well. So I started to bring in a certain story, and nobody responded to any of it. And I'd like, what the hell is going on? I'm not used to this. What is this? Nobody responds to what I'm saying. And it's like, it dissolved. That was the moment actually where it shifted for me not to share so much anymore, not to talk about the past at all and leave that behind, but also not knowing what to talk about then. Like if you don't talk about the past, what are you going to talk about? And then you see that there's no reason to talk about anything. If you need to share something, it will be given. So that was a period in which I discovered for myself, like, oh my God, it becomes really quiet when you don't bring in the past. It becomes really quiet, and it's great to actually have moments of peace of mind in which I'm not disturbed by any kind of occurrence from the past. Otherwise I bring it into the present as if it's happening now. Why would I want to do that? So now I'm using this as an example, and I'm going to let it go again. But see, you can be quiet. You don't have to respond to everything that's being shared, especially not when it's about past experiences. What is so interesting about that? They're over. Here you are. You don't want to use your past learning to project it into the future, to have a future the same as your past. No, because you came to this place, you started doing these lessons just because of that. You don't want the future the same as your past. So this is your, say, escape. This is your, this is what can help you to get out of your past cycle that you keep repeating, even projecting it into a future, expecting the same things to happen because nothing has changed. You cannot keep, say, walking these circles. Why would you? So here it says, like, okay, forget about the future, let it go. Allow this moment to be new, and don't bring in the past at all. Leave it behind. Be quiet, rest, stay with yourself, like stay present in yourself. Don't go anywhere with your thoughts. And if somebody starts to talk to you about the past, you let that be. Like, all right. You don't have to respond to it. So that can be really helpful. And at least for me, it was like the first time I experienced it, it was, it's actually a relief. I don't have to bring like as if, luckily I'm now suddenly free of my past because I don't have to bring it in anymore. And it's not that my past was that pretty. So I'm happy not to bring it in again. So I will not do that. So you see, it's like free yourself from your ideas about yourself by not bringing them actively into this moment. Why don't you just let this moment be complete and allow that to show you what to share and what to say, fresh and new, instead of say coming from your past. So it is a real liberating lesson, this one. I love it for that. So one of the sentences that you use in this lesson is this: I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you, for I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love but God's, and yours, and mine, and everyone. So say that to one another. I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you, for I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love but God's, and yours, and mine, and everyone's. Well, that's so lovely. It's like that's an expression of oneness. There's no exception in this, and it's whole. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I think this is great. I love this lesson. I love it that I could share it with you, and I want to keep it with that. So thank you so much for being part of this class and paying attention here to what is really like salvation to you. And this is a very practical exercise. This is not lofty, high, whatever words. No, this is like all the things you don't have to do are defined here. No, I don't need to judge. I don't have to trust my perception. I don't need to do anything with my perception except letting it go. I don't have to bring in the past into this moment. I cannot distinguish between one person and the other. I myself am an extension of the love of God. I'm God's son. In that sense, I cannot judge because I'm the love and that he created. I was created just like he is. So that all the things that you don't have to do are defined here, in fact. You don't have to look for love in the laws of the world. You cannot judge. You don't have to make exceptions. You don't have to have special love. You don't have to have like one love for the other and one love for this one. No, you are what love is. That extends. And if you need to express that in a certain way, except you already do it by being yourself, it will be told. You don't have to figure out a way to work this out for yourself. And that's maybe the most difficult part, but it is essential in this lesson. So thank you for that. Thank you for being in this class and participating. Thank you so much, and see you soon.